It's YouTube, baby. So you were talking about the recording thing. Since I never do that when it was me and Preston on here, I was like, it took me a good probably 5 minutes trying to figure out how to start it.
I was so do you have like my Zoom login or how did that work?
I just did like so I have a Zoom account. And then
Yeah.
I was like, I'll just pay I think it's $15 a month for that month. So then I can do that. That's the same thing I did when I interviewed John. Because like at first I was like, I'll just do the free one. And then I was like, I know John is a wonderful interview and he will talk. And so I'm like, just to be safe. And then like I think it ended up being like almost an hour. So I'm like, thank God I did, because that would have been terrible.
Yep. Yeah, I hate that cap, but I guess
Yeah.
that's how they make their money. So
Yeah, it's Microsoft, they need the money.
yeah, a small company.
It'd be funny if like instead, if like after the 30 minutes, we just had to watch an ad and then we got more time. It's like Mountain Dew. Do the do, guys.
See, Mountain Dew should sponsor us so that that's what the ad could sound like.
There we go. It's like, you ever just wanna not do something? Well, too fucking bad. Mountain Dew time.
All right. Well, what are we going to talk about before we do the episode?
I'll say this because it's not important enough to make our news, but it's also hilarious to me. All Monsters Attack, that one kaiju thing I went to like 2 or 3 years ago in Indy, they are going to be in Rosemont 2 months before G Fest.
Wow. Wonder what the thought process is there.
It's just hilarious. Like, oh, it's so funny to me because it's like I know there's like kaiju fans that don't like supporting G Fest because the dude that runs G Fest is kind of a knucklehead who was like unprompted in his G Fest magazine was like, the blackface in Godzilla versus Kong isn't that bad. Everyone's like, you're a weirdo, dude. And then he got like really defensive about it.
Like, hey, nobody brought that up,
Yeah,
guy.
it's like it's a bit weird, but then like at the same time, it's like, yeah, that's weird, but it's also weird to be like, I will not go to your con now, sir. I will not support you at all because of this. It's like he's just a fucking weirdo that probably has really bad social skills, like the majority of us guys. Come on.
Yeah. Anyone who's been to a con knows what it's like.
Yeah. So, he's not like, doing heinous things. He's just kind of a weirdo. That's how I look at it. But yeah, so there's like some of them that are really excited, but like the thing is, which I think is crazy because I don't think it's good enough to merit this, but there's people coming from all over the country for G Fest.
Hmm.
And it's like I don't think All Monsters Attack is going to get that. So
I mean, it could though. Maybe it's moving to Rosemont to get that crowd.
yeah, and then like one plus that it has that G Fest doesn't is it's done by the Days of the Dead people that do like the horror cons all over, but still, unless they don't like, I mean, this is just for me, but unless they don't get like big name guests that are like kaiju related, it's like what's the point?
Right.
But hey,
How
they
would
have fifty
you?
$50 off tables if you want to go up there with some comics.
That makes me wonder what a table is if they're taking that much off.
Well, it's like because it's a year in advance. That's like they're doing like the big sale for their like everything is 50% $50 off right now. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna be very much. But it'd be easy to make back if you were selling $200 toys. But since you'd be selling, you know,
Unrelated
the,
comics.
yeah, unrelated comics that are like you're probably trying to get rid of, the back stock, so it'd be like $2 to $5. There'd be probably a lot of those to make up. But
Yeah.
oh, I didn't tell you about this at G Fest. They had one of the first issues of the Godzilla pirate book, one of the variants, 50 fucking dollars. It was a variant that you gave me.
That's crazy.
I know. I
That,
just walked out. I'm like, what were you guys doing?
yeah. I I always order enough so that I can get you the B cover and the 1 in 10 incentive.
I appreciate it, man.
So it had to have been one of those two.
It must have been the 1 in 10. That'd be my
Yeah.
guess. Now, dude, now here's a question. Just friend to friend, because like I don't want you to be out money. Do you usually sell enough to just kind of break
Yeah.
even on that at least? Okay.
Yeah. I love you, but I
But
wouldn't
not that
do it
much.
if it if it was costing me a lot of money.
I just wanted to make sure because I was like, dude, you don't have to fucking do that. I know it's not that big of a deal for
Nah.
me.
I mean, most of the time, man, it's just like, fuck, this is a cool variant.
Yeah,
I know Casey would like it, so I'm gonna
yeah.
get it.
Now, this is a fun question. Does the Godzilla book sell pretty well at your shop? I mean, I'm assuming the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Godzilla probably does better than the regular books, but
It does, but honestly, man, so this is Godzilla Power Rangers 2, right?
mhm.
It's not doing so hot.
That's too bad. It's way better than the first one in my opinion because it's more
Yeah.
fun.
Well, Godzilla books in general, they're on the climb, but it's still like a lower tier book.
Yeah, I figured.
Mostly like it's you and me, a couple others, but most of the time when I sell Godzilla, it's like a kid that comes in randomly on a Thursday afternoon with their
Yeah,
dad, and they're like, Godzilla, and then they buy comics.
that's fucking rad. I was
So,
that kid at one point.
yeah, yeah. So it's always cool when someone gets excited for it.
Yeah.
Thankfully, the trades are a little more in print than they used to be because like before this year, it was like Godzilla in Hell, and that was
hmm
the only trade you could get. But now
You
there's like several.
couldn't even get the Half Century War.
Nope.
Damn. Because yeah, I had that one, but that I'm like, oh, I got it not that long ago, but it was like fucking 11 years ago when I got it, so I guess it makes
Yeah.
sense.
So I
Man,
mean, a lot of that stuff's back in print, and now there's like the monsters and protectors, which the kids like, um, and some of the others that they're doing too. So
yeah.
all the Gary Frank,
Matt Frank.
Matt Frank, sorry. Yeah, all the Matt Frank stuff usually is in print.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of a shame.
I know. He must have polls somewhere though,
It's
or a following.
he's got a following. That's like a big part. It's like because that's one of the things. It's like when he gets called out on his plethora of bullshit, they kind of come out of the woodwork and they're like, "He's not that bad, guys." And,
Yeah.
and then, or they'll be like, "You're just a fucking Russian bot." Like they'll do that shit too. It's like I don't think a fucking mediocre Godzilla artist has Russian bots coming after him, guys. I just don't think that's a thing.
That's way more believable than someone doesn't care for his work.
Yeah, it's like it's way more believable that they saw his temper tantrum that he had on an autistic kid one time and are like, this guy's kind of a piece of shit. Yeah, because this autistic kid, he saw the trailer for the Gamera box set that Matt Frank did the art for, like the box art for, and he was like, it doesn't look very good. And then Matt Frank just told him to kill himself and like all this stuff, and it was just like, dude, settle down.
Gosh, imagine not being able to take that kind of criticism from a kid.
And the worst part was the kid wasn't even talking about his art. He was talking about the Showa era Gamera, which you've seen it, doesn't look very good, but it's hilarious. Like Showa era Gamera is just like genuinely funny, and it's made for kids, so it's like yeah, it's good. Like this the scene where Gamera does his like little Olympic pose after he did the pull.
Oh,
So,
sure, sure, sure.
so funny.
Yeah, he does look kind of goofy. I just Googled it. I mean, he still looks cool. but it is goofy.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like when you watch it, there's some that are just really bad. Like I didn't really like it was a struggle to get through, but they're also like there's some that are just a fun time, you know? So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna say the Gamera Super Monster is still one of the worst fucking movies I've ever seen, though. I hear it's like not as bad if you haven't watched all of the other Gamera that came before it, because it's just this kid who's like, I like turtles, and then he meets these like Sailor Moon ripoffs, and then but like the budget's so small. Like anytime they try to transform, the alien that's trying to kill them shoots a laser beam at him. It's like, I've detected you, and so they have to stop and they can't transform. And then Gamera shows up, and it's just clips from the old movies of him beating the monsters in the old movies. Like it's just those scenes all over again, and like they're watching it. They're like, oh, look at that, he's beating Zigra this time. Nice, good job, Gamera. And it's just that.
Somebody okayed that.
Well, it's like the company was going out of business, so they're like, we need a move to make a movie with like $15 and a button, and they're like, I have the perfect idea.
Whatever works.
Yeah. And then there's like a ship that's a complete ripoff of the Star Destroyer from Star Wars. Like it's like just a big time ripoff. Gamera ends up killing himself, destroying it. And then like the new like that was like one of the few Gamera new scenes, but the ship itself is from a different movie. So it's like just kind of they just kind of plaster Gamera in on that. And his suit's so bad because they use like unlike with the Godzilla movies, they used a new suit for like every couple movies. There's they had such a small budget, all these movies, they used the same suit. So like this and like Gamera got his ass kicked a lot. So this suit's just fucking ratty and beat up. He's doing that. It's kind of like, yeah, he needs to be taken out back and shot.
Oh shit. All right, man. Shall we do our
Yeah,
episode?
let's do it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Two Worlds Podcast. I'm Jake, and with me, as always, is the Hootie to my Dr. Midnight. It's Casey. What's up, buddy?
Not much, man. If I was a Hootie and the Blowfish fan, I would have like broken out into like a Hootie and the Blowfish song.
I only want to be with
Yeah.
you.
There we go. Oh man.
I like me some Hootie,
Do
personally.
I mean, I know you're not a country boy, but are you like, a little bit of wagon wheel isn't too bad?
Dude, that song slaps. He's got an angelic voice.
I like the only Hootie and the Blowfish I really remember. I don't even remember the song, but I remember we had the cassette of Godzilla '98 when we were kids, and there was a Hootie song on there.
Oh yeah, which one was that?
I don't remember, but I remember being like, I like this band now. They did a song on the Godzilla soundtrack. They're in my top 5. That was before Weezer entered my life, While Jake looks that up, remember, guys, if you want to buy anything off of Super 7, go to super7.com/2worldspodcast. Or just go to one of our links and follow the code that way. They have lots of cool toys. I like the kaiju toys. I have some right behind me, actually. I got them for my birthday. They're still in package. I hope they use the affiliate code. This one lights in the dark. I don't have my headphones on. I can't really hear, but it's really cool.
The packaging's great.
Headphones back on now. I didn't want to like get as I was trying to grab it.
The packaging was great on that.
Oh yeah, no, they look so cool. They also make like I need to get a pegboard set up, another one set up in my room so I can hang them up like that because I think that looks really cool. I did that with my Trendmasters that I got from C2E2.
Yeah.
But I want to do that with those. They make a pinball ones, which are super cool. Like it's got that packaging, but they have about everything you can want. If you're like, I'm a fan of the Misfits, they got that. Like weird hip hop people. I don't know who they are. They got it. Thundercats, Voltron, got it. Um, I don't know, like Big Trouble Little China Toys. They got some of those. Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, got it. So it's just like if you were a millennial kid and you have money now, you should check out Super 7 because it's like everything that we grew up with.
So I looked up a track list. Hootie's not on there.
Maybe I'm crazy.
Maybe you're crazy. Are you confusing him with either Ben Folds or Rage Against the Machine?
I don't think so. I'm gonna see if I can find it now.
Yeah. The Wallflowers?
I don't think so because I really thought it was on there. I mean, when I said it too, you were like, "Yeah, that sounds familiar." So like I don't
Yeah.
think I'm too crazy.
Well, while you're doing that, uh, no comments this week, but there's a lot of exciting comic news that dropped this week that I'm excited for Casey and I to talk about here in a minute. Finally got some answers to who's replacing who on certain titles or new miniseries that are starting. It's gonna be good stuff.
Yeah,
No luck.
nothing yet. That's so weird. Maybe it's one of those things where oh, like the Bernstein Bears thing. We're in the different universe now or whatever.
I mean, I really did think that he was on there, but I guess not.
Yeah.
Maybe you just liked Hootie as a kid and you were
Maybe I was
using
just
Godzilla as an excuse.
yeah, maybe I was just lied to. And I was like, I don't like these guys now.
I'm a Wallflowers fan,
Yeah.
not Hootie. Well, pretty much all of my news is comic related,
All
so
right.
I'll let you do yours and then we'll do all the
Yeah.
comics.
You and me will not be too excited about this, but the Russos have signed on to direct the next two Avenger films.
Yep.
So like the Secret Wars and Super Secret Wars.
Yeah.
So
I don't care.
yep, same here. Like they're not like they're in my opinion, they're the two most overrated directors we've had in a while. Because it's like I've tried to watch that Chris Hemsworth movie and it's not good. The one that's on Netflix. And then they did another movie with Anthony Mackie too. And
Wait,
it's
like
not
the
good.
action one?
Yeah. It's just kind of boring. It's like,
Yeah, I didn't
oh
see
yeah.
it.
It's just like you're just trying to watch it and you're like they aren't good directors, so it doesn't do much when the script is kind of boring.
Hmm.
So and it's like I'm not a fan of like jumpy, shitty camera point of views because like you can't tell what's going on. I hate that type of stuff. And boy, are they fans of it. So yeah.
It's whatever. You know, Endgame and whatever, Infinity War brought in so much money and then they were done and the MCU tried all this other stuff that isn't working. So like, well, shit, we need to get the people back that were making us money.
Yeah, but it's not the Russos. It was Robert Downey Jr. and for some reason Chris Evans and then the other original
Is there not
ones.
one thing that you like of Chris Evans?
I mean, he's fine, but he is just it's also like, you know what I really like? I like a grilled cheese with Velveeta. Would I be like, oh, this is the best thing in the world? Absolutely not, but it's fine.
I don't
And
know
that's
that anyone's saying he's the best thing in the whole world.
there's a lot of people that are like, he is so good. And it's like, no, he's as bland as like mashed potatoes that don't have any butter or salt in it. That are he's just strictly mashed potatoes. No milk to make it creamy. It's just like, yeah, I just crushed up some potatoes. Here you go.
I don't know. I thought he was pretty good in that Knives Out movie.
Yeah, he was fine. And he was also probably at his best in Fantastic Four, but
I don't
still, it's
know.
just
Scott Pilgrim and his
yeah,
brief
that,
time there.
that one doesn't quite count because it was pretty brief.
Yeah.
But like anytime he does it, especially like his serious roles or like his Captain America, especially, it's just like this is what he does. He's like, I don't know about this, guys. It's like if you were ugly, dude, no one would care. Like you have the personality of a wet dish rag. Like,
I think you're sipping on some haterade for saying he's just fine.
he is just fine. I don't know. I've never once seen a movie of his where I'm like, oh, this is some good acting. Like hell, I've seen somewhere I'm like, this is really bad acting. Like if you ever seen Snowpiercer.
I have seen Snowpiercer.
Yeah, the part when he's like, it tastes best. So bad.
Yeah.
For
Didn't
those that
love that
haven't seen it,
movie.
he's talking about baby carrots.
Yeah. Well, anyway, comic news. I'll start with the non-big two stuff. So, Die, one of my favorite Image comics, I've talked about it many times on this show, is coming back. I got a poster in the mail at the shop, and it had like all the Die trades on it talking about Die. And I'm like, why am I getting a promo poster right now for Die? This finished like 2 years ago. And at the very bottom, it says Die is coming back in 2025. And I was like, oh shit, that's fucking awesome.
That is
So,
awesome.
very excited for that. Um, you got to read that hardcover, man, beforehand
I'm
so that
I
you can
will.
see if you want that or not.
Yeah.
But hella excited.
I hope
It's
it's
still,
called
sorry,
Die Another Day.
another day. It's still going to be Kieran Gillen and Stephanie Hans. So I'm glad that the original team is coming back to do it.
Now, was that a pretty quick like wait between each book, or did they take like saga level hiatuses? Because I forget with that.
No, I mean, there were a couple hiatuses, but nothing super crazy that I can think of.
Okay.
I mean, Stephanie Hans is insanely talented, so it might have taken her a smidge longer than normal,
Yeah.
but I can't think of any excessive breaks on that. So
Now you met her at C2E2. She was like a delight, right?
she was a delight.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. It's always nice.
Yeah. I'm blanking on where she's from. She's not American. And I was like probably just like mouth vomiting, my
Yeah.
praise to her
Yeah.
because I remember also telling her how much I liked her work on Journey into Mystery, that Loki series. She's like, "Oh, thank you so much." Um, that was like a fun series, but I don't think I probably won't ever revisit anything like that. Like, oh man, well, I hope that you do someday. And then I just remember being like, yeah, but I probably won't though. It's just like, no,
Yeah.
I know. I'm just saying it would be neat.
Yeah.
But anyway, she was great. Very excited to see more of her work.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. You get these like really good artists, and it's like they just seem to, and not all of them, some of them seem like perfectly fine working with the big two. But then like also there's a lot that are like, I did this, I made some money, but I don't think I'm gonna do it again. Like Daniel Warren Johnson seemed that way. He's like, unless I'm broke, I don't think I'm gonna be doing that again. So I'm
Yeah,
just like, yeah, that's kind of weird. I wonder what that's about.
I don't know. At least with Daniel, he was like, if they let me do exactly what I want, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't usually happen unless you're Bendis for some reason.
Hmm.
So, all right, let's get on to the big two. So, all right, creative teams taking over current titles. We've got Tom Taylor and Mikhail Hanin taking over detective. I think that potentially could be good
Yeah.
because I
It's
like Tom Taylor sometimes.
yep.
Mikhail Hanin, always amazing.
Yeah.
So that could be a good book. I probably won't read it, but if someone's like, dude, this is really good, you should check it out, maybe I will.
Yeah. I have a feeling it's gonna be knowing the way Tom Taylor writes and just like hearing the way you talked about Nightwing and this other stuff, it's gonna be very Bat family heavy. It won't just
Yeah.
be a Batman book, you know,
Yeah.
like it's gonna be like the whole kit and caboodle. We
Yeah.
maybe get some Harper Row in there even.
And I'm not even mad if it is like the whole
Yeah.
Bat family. That could be cool.
No, it's exactly like I'm not complaining one way or the other, but I'm like that's probably what it's gonna be, knowing
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. And then the very, very, very exciting one. I had to text Casey about this separately this week. Dan Waters and Dexter Sawyer taking over Nightwing. So Dan Waters, number one fan, sitting right here.
I'm says the guy not reading Destro.
You're right. I'm so sorry. I'll get caught up. But I can't wait. I think that's going to be great. And I believe Casey said that he is going to check that out too.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love Nightwing, not as much as you, because I'm not going to be able to, you know, buy a huge Tom Taylor run or the one before that, Humphreys. I'm not gonna be able to do. I'm not able to do that. I don't love him that much, but when it's good quality, of course, I can check that out. Didn't Dan Waters and Dexter Soy work together also on the um oh that one run the Man Bat comic, right? Or am I imagining that?
No, that wasn't Dexter Soy.
Oh, okay.
Um, I couldn't tell you who it is, but I know it's not him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know that they have worked together, or if they have, it must have been like a smaller press book.
Okay. But it
But
should be
he's real
awesome.
good. Yeah, should
Hmm.
be awesome. All right. And then one that really nobody saw coming. Mark Waid and Chris Samney are teaming up to do a Batman and Robin Year One story. I will be reading that for sure.
I'll be checking it out. It's one of those things where I'm like, do we really need this again? But then it's
No,
like,
we don't.
yeah, but and it's like if it was just Mark Waid and like a writer or an artist I didn't like as much as Sammy, I probably wouldn't. But with it being the two of them, I'm like, okay, you kind of got me. But
Yep.
yeah.
I mean, they've done a lot together at Marvel at this
Uh-huh.
point. They had the famous Daredevil run, they did a Captain America run, they did a Black Widow run. To have them do Batman and Robin is just extremely exciting.
Hmm.
I was with you. Whenever my initial response was like, "Oh, that's cool. Batman and Robin Year One. Ah, fuck it. It's gonna be good."
Yeah.
Like that was my
Yeah.
roller coaster of thoughts. So okay, then finally, on Wednesday, DC had their all in on YouTube that gives us their absolutes news. So we got the creative teams for Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Batman is going to be Scott Snyder and Nick Dragotta on the art. So just a rapid fire yay or nay on that.
Yeah, and then also we also got pictures of what each of them look like, and the Batman is a beefcake.
Yeah.
Like
We're
I'm not
always
sure.
asking where's the beef?
Yeah,
It's Batman.
it's all on Batman. He got it all. But it's my one thing is like he's got those weird kind of like wing things on the end of his hands. I have to see more of what's going on there. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm into it. I'll give it a go.
Yeah. Then we got Superman by Jason Aaron and Rafa Sandoval.
I mean, I like the creative team, so I'll check it out. Don't care much for the Superman, at least his hair.
Yeah.
It looked pretty bad.
Yeah, I get that. I think we're both big enough Jason Aaron fans that we'll probably give it a shot.
Hmm.
And then Wonder Woman, who looks so fucking cool.
Yeah, the only downside with the Wonder Woman design for me is since they're kind of going like, oh yeah, Islander type thing, should have made her darker.
Mm,
Like because it's like it never makes much sense that she's, very pale
yeah, I get
normally. So,
that.
but otherwise, yeah, that's another home run and we didn't say who that one was by.
Yes, by Kelly Thompson and Hayden Sherman.
And you and me are both becoming Kelly Thompson fans.
Hmm.
So we'll probably both check that one out too.
Yeah, I will for sure. That's the one I'm maybe most excited for, which is
Yeah.
crazy to say given all three of those teams, but
But I mean, okay, if New 52 taught us anything, and just Wonder Woman in general is like the easiest one to kind of do your own thing with because she has such a shitty continuity. Like Superman, shit's established. If you try to change that, it's gonna hurt. Batman, shit's established, same thing. With Wonder Woman, you're kind of like, she's the god of war. Like, okay, cool. I'm okay with that. That's
yeah.
neat.
Oh, she's fighting Medusa? All right.
Yeah. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. So just hella exciting news from DC all around this week.
You think you're gonna that's gonna sell really well? Since, or do you think it's like people are gonna be kind of annoyed with it?
I don't know. Most questions that I've had at the shop, people don't understand what absolutes is.
Yeah.
So I'm always like, it's just the ultimates for DC. And some people are like, oh, okay, that's fine. And others are like, oh, they're just copying Marvel and doing the ultimates. It's like, obviously, man, like both of them are copying each other from the beginning of time till the end of time. Stop being annoyed by it. It's gonna happen.
I was kind of like I kind of forgot that Marvel brought the Ultimate stuff back because I was like really hoping you could get like one kid going like, "What's the Ultimates? I was born in 2009." And you're like, "Oh, I'm old."
Yeah, it's just silly. But fanboys are gonna fanboy.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But that's it for the news.
Yeah, man. So what'd you read this week?
I read Dark Knights of Steel All Winter #1, Witcher Corvo Bianco #3, Superman #16, Incredible Hulk #14, Thundercats #6, Briar #7, and Daredevil Woman Without Fear #1.
I
I
missed Superman this week, and you missed Fish Flies.
Oh, I read Fish Flies. I just didn't
Okay.
bring it home with me.
All right.
What about
All
you,
right.
buddy?
I read What's the Furthest Place from Here, issue 19, The Invincible Iron Man, issue 20, Destro, issue 2, Green Lantern War Journals, issue 11, Fish Flies, number 7, Daredevil Woman Without Fear, number 1, and The Incredible Hulk 14.
All right. You may have had one more.
I think you had one more than me.
Oh, okay. I can start then. I'll just do Superman since you didn't read it, and I will be brief. It was really good. It's an absolute power tie-in, but it's just a good story, like a really good story. Um, Jamal Campbell is back on the art for this issue, so
Nice.
it's super, super pretty. It's a little Zatanna focused, which is also a good thing. And because of our opener, a bit of a dead giveaway, Dr. Midnight makes an appearance in it, which is pretty awesome. Um, I liked it all. I had one little tiny gripe. So, in absolute power, Superman gets shot, right?
Hmm.
So, this issue starts with him on the operating table with Dr. Midnight and Mr. Terrific, which is awesome. That's absolutely old Justice League or old JSA shit right there.
Hmm.
But then Dr. Midnight says, "How are you so calm right now?" And Mr. Terrific says, "Same as you, because we must be." And then goes on to say more stuff. I'm just like, Dr. Midnight wouldn't say that. He would just be calm. He's worked on Superman before. He's worked on most of the League and or the JSA before.
Yeah,
People should be asking him why he's so calm.
right.
So, is that a big deal? Not at all. But for arguably the biggest Dr. Midnight fan, I was just like, he wouldn't say that. So that's my only gripe. Otherwise, I like it a lot. I think Casey will like it too. And there's a pretty neato reveal on the last page. So,
And I'm just thinking, like, Superman doesn't have powers. He lost, it's not like his powers are coming back. So it's not even like this is like tough. Like normally, like the whole problem when Superman has a ball, kryptonite in him, and it's like it's healing over it because he heals fast and all that extra shit.
yep,
Like this would be a cakewalk for Dr. Midnight. I don't get
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely it
it.
would. I'm right there with you. But it was one of the better books I read this week. Um, Probably the second best book. So I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10.
Nice, dude. So what's the furthest place from here? Issue 19 by Tyler Boss and Matthew Rosenberg with Dylan Burnett doing the art. I'm not gonna lie, I hated this issue.
Oh no.
Yeah, like I like the art. The art works. It's good. But so I hate when they write in accents comics. Like sometimes it's fine. This was so bad. I hated it. Like it might be, mileage might vary, but it's just like quiet Haddock, the girls ask a question and we will answer them honestly, won't we? Yes, seer. My name's Cassie. Our name is Father Soil. Yes, I know who you are, silly girls. And to answer your question, yes, there is another world beyond ours. It's like I hate this. I hate reading this. So that's how the whole book is. And then like the character you're following just gets killed, and then it cuts to the characters that we actually care about. That it was just trying to do some more world building, and it's like I just don't give a fuck. So yeah, I'm at like a 3. I was really really disappointed by this, and it's like it's almost enough just to make me go I don't want to read this book anymore.
Damn, that sucks.
Yeah. So that's my pick of the week. No, I'm joking.
Well, speaking of, I'll talk about mine. We've got Dark Knights of Steel All Winter #1. It was highly anticipated and it delivered. It was really, really fucking cool. Did you check it? Like, did any of the books you read have preview pages for it at the back?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, I don't, let's just like this is the kind of art
Oh,
you get.
yeah, yeah, I did.
Okay, yeah. So the art's just really fucking good. Um, but essentially, this world's Vandal Savage is hiring Deathstroke to go kill somebody, and on the way they gotta fight a sea monster, and Deathstroke finds out that his wife, who you think is dead, is not dead, and like the whole issue is in black and white, and then at the end, Deathstroke's not dead wife is protecting a kid. And so we see the kid on the final page, and the kid is the only thing in color in the whole issue. So he's like, the hope of the world or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, that's pretty cool, actually.
Hmm.
So I was a huge fan of this. Oh, it was written by Jay Kristoff with art by Terso. Um, so yeah, I just loved it. It was cool. The cover's fucking cool. Everything about it was cool. It's a 10 out of 10, my pick of the week. I can't wait for the second one.
Nice, man. So, Invincible Iron Man issue 20 by Gary Duggan and Andrea DeVito on the art. This is just kind of like wrapping things up from that whole like Tony Stark doing the whole waging war against Orca and all that. He gets divorced, but then Emma gives him this huge ass check at the end. So it's like everything's back to normal for old Tony Stark. It's like one of those things. And yeah, it's neat. It's kind of weird. It's like the dumbest thing. And it's just funny. Like I'm not gonna mark it down for this, but like they get a new like Tony gets a new place and it's got a basketball court, and then him and Rhodey are playing basketball on it, but it's with a 1 ton fucking like boulder. And it's like, first off, where are you getting your boulder that just says 1 ton on it that you can play basketball with? And also, it's destroying your court. I get that you're rich, but come on.
That is
But
silly.
yeah, so it sounds like we're gonna get like a West Coast Avengers book coming out with Tony and Rhodey as like the two mains. And then they're probably gonna have like, I think Sandman's going to be on it for sure because they kind of mentioned that last issue, and different villains will be on it to kind of like get them as good guys for a little bit until they, another writer forgets about it and makes them bad again. But so yeah, I mean it's cool. I'm excited to see what happens next. Like this is a fun series. I'm gonna go 8 out of 10.
Okay, good deal. Witcher Corvo Bianco, #3 by Bartosz Stybor and Corrado Mastintuno. I like this miniseries, but I hate that like every issue starts and has nothing to do with the very end of the previous issue. Um, but yeah, anyway, I won't dwell on it too much. You're either you know what's going on with this or you don't, but there's some really brutal magic and like brutal killings in this issue, which look really cool. And I do enjoy the art and the story, so I'm interested to see how it wraps up. So I like it quite a bit. I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10.
Right on. All right, so Destro issue 2. This is by Dan Waters and Andrea Bresson on the art. And so like basically Destro's pissed because he's convinced the two twins attacked him in the last issue, and then the twins are pissed because they're like, Destro faked an attack on us and they're making our, good name look bad. So they start like doing these little wars against like little attacks against each other. So they make a deal. They're like, Destro's like, if I kill you, I get your business. If you kill me, you get my business. And they're like, deal. And so Destro goes into hiding, but then he's been found and he's gonna have someone try to kill him next issue. It's good. It's a fun book. It read pretty quick. My one thing is I'm just like, how are they gonna connect this to the old rest of the G.I. Joe stuff? Because it seems like not really connected to it at all. But then like except Destro's there. But like in the like the end of the Cobra Commander, it was like he was teaming with Cobra Commander. Now he's just like, fuck you, Cobra Commander. Like in the first issue, it's like you'll pay me for stuff. And then so now we're like dealing with this, and I'm like, how are they going to become friends? Because I know like the twins are a Cobra thing too. So it's like I wonder how they're all going to become allies, I guess. But yeah, it's good. I'm gonna go probably 8.5 out of 10.
Nice. Glad it's still good. Thundercats #6 by Declan Shalvey and Drew Moss. This issue is all about Panthro. Panthro is fighting the Vulture Man and his cronies. We get a little Snarf cameo, but yeah, it's just Panthro thinking about how he interacts with Lion-O and how he should be sort of a father figure to him. And then he fights the Vulture Men. So it was a little fillery, but it was still a good time. And give it probably an 8 out of 10.
Nice. How was the art? Are you like still kind of, really liking that too?
Yeah, I do. Drew Moss is a good artist. He does
Good.
he does Thundercats well.
Good. I think I follow him. He is really good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Green Lantern War Journal issue 11 by Philip Kenny Johnson and Montos on the art. Art's still really good. The John Stewart's mom is under attack by the Radiant Black still, and then, you know, it's kind of revealed like, hey, the John's little sister that he made from the ring was like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not your daughter. She's passed away because this isn't looking good. And the mom's like, no, I know that. Like, I know I forget things, blah blah blah. But this like it makes John not worry about me that having you, and it makes him happy, so that makes me happy, so I'm okay with it. And then she's like, then the sister go like I'm just gonna call it the sister was like, if you let me be your weapon and your armor and guide me with your will, we will face the dragons together. And then like it does this number, turn the mom into that. It's like, oh, that's cool. And then
Yeah.
it cuts back to John, and he was, kind of being brainwashed, not brainwashed, but like was like they're trying to control him. The Radiant Black was, but he outsmarted it, of course. And then we got two lanterns showing up, old Guy Gardner and this guy. So that's pretty cool.
This guy, my
Well, it's like
favorite lantern.
I mean, because I know you read the first issues before it started selling out. It was that lantern that came to this universe from his old one. It's that guy, but I'm like, I don't fucking remember his name. I'm not gonna remember that. So yeah, it's those two showing up, and that was fun. And this is like one of the better issues so far. Like I've been like fine with it. I've not been loving it, but this is probably one of the best ones yet. So I'm gonna go 9.5.
Wow, nice. Briar number 7 by Christopher Cantwell and Alex Linz. This issue was so angsty. All the main characters are bickering and fighting. They get thrown in various dungeons and separated. And then at the end, there's a plan to break them out. And that's literally this whole thing. So I'm probably going to give it a 6.5. It's like probably the worst issue of the series, which is a bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
And also, when I scanned this at work, it said 7 of 7, but the end of this issue, it says continued in number 8. So I was like, well, thank God it's continuing, because this would have
Yeah.
been a shitty final issue.
Be kind of hilarious if they're like, it's continuing issue 8 if it comes out.
I know, right?
Alrighty, man. I just got our three Michis.
Yep, same.
All right, so I'll start with Fish Fly since you don't have it. It's by Jeff Lemire. And yeah, so it's like the girl's kind of walking around and she sees the flies past, sort of. And then it also cuts to like the stuff from the first issue. Get the old folks dealing with stuff, and yeah, I don't know, man. I kind of loved it. What'd you think?
Yeah, it was a good ending, I
Yeah,
think.
because when he goes to shoot the kid this time, the fly gets in front of it because it's, I guess, learned its lesson, and then you know the kid that got shot woke up, and Franny's there, and she talks to the cop, and the cop's gonna watch over her for a bit. And yeah, I mean, it's like it's usually like how I feel with most Jeff Lemire books. Like it's where it's like just I'm kind of like, this is odd, but I loved it.
Mhm.
Like this will be my pick of the week, and it's a 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I'd probably give it a 9. I think it was really good. It had a good ending. I would personally like to think that the cop and his wife ends up adopting her, just because I think that gives it more of a happy ending, because the cop's
Hmm.
a really good guy.
Oh, he's a
Uh,
great guy.
He's a real good guy.
That's
So
what I always said about him. I'm like, he's a good guy.
but yeah, I liked it. It makes me excited for Jeff's next project, which comes out pretty soon. So good
Yeah, and
stuff.
speaking of Jeff Lemire's projects, that Royal City, I think is what it's called.
Hmm.
Is that like, when's that coming out? Because I've never seen this before. It says available now. I've not
Yeah.
heard. I don't remember anything.
I've had one over here on my shelf for quite
Oh,
some
okay.
time, actually. So
And then Phantom Road, I don't know. See that one, I'm less like, oh, maybe I'll like it or maybe I won't because it's like someone else is doing the art. And like those ones I'm always like, Jeff can like when he's got a really good artist on him, he has them do some weird stuff that
Yeah,
that I think as an artist he's not able to do. And so like I'm just like, oh, I don't know.
yeah. I need to read Royal City, but I got that nice collection of it because I was like, well, this is going to be the best way to read it.
Yeah,
Um, I should do that sooner than later. All right. Daredevil, Woman Without Fear, #1. Um, I want to share the variant that I got because boy, is it pretty.
that is nice. Yeah. Though, I mean, come on, whoever did the variant, she don't got no pointy ends on her size no more. Come on.
Yep. Yep. It's by Erica Schultz and Michael Dowling. I hate to admit it, man, but I really couldn't care about the story too
Really?
much. Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad because I liked it. I like Elektra a lot. She's super cool in this, I think. There was like the only downside is like they did a little bit to me, they did a little bit too much of her being like stupid men that aren't Matt Murdock. Like that was like it's like you guys are laying it on a little thick here, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. I mean, the stuff with the girl was pretty good. It's kind of nice to see her, I don't know, not be motherly, but just like be a person, I guess.
I mean, it's how Elektra would be motherly.
Yeah, it is. And like the action's good, the art's good, but I don't know. I was just reading it kind of quick. I was like, I just don't really care. And
Yeah,
like new Punisher, well, spoiler alert, new Punisher shows up, and it's just like, man, I really don't care about him. So
yeah.
I probably won't be going forward with it.
Really? I enjoyed it. This is like the first time I think, and this is no like how much I love Saladin Ahmed's current Daredevil. This is the first time where she feels like she did with Zdarsky's run, and then like that her the other Electra books that I've had like with that one. She doesn't really feel the same, mostly because she's kind of pissed off at Matt. So it makes sense that she wouldn't be the same character in that. But with this, it's like, yeah, I just I like Electra, so it helps that way.
Hmm.
So I'm playing an 8.5 on this, maybe even a 9. It's pushing a 9 for me. I liked it.
Probably 6.5 for me.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with it. I just
yeah.
don't think I need to continue is all.
No, I get that, man. All right, so we got the Incredible Hulk issue 14 by Philip Kennedy Johnson and Nick Klein on the art. Take it away, man, because I got some feelings about it that I'll mention, but
Okay. I imagine, well, I don't know. I'd like to think that you did like it, but that makes me think that maybe you didn't. But he touches on stuff from like the previous series, and I know that that was a beef for you for a while. So I thought it was kind of nice. I read that and I was like, oh, I hope Casey likes that they finally touched on something from the previous series because that was a big beef for him.
just the
Uh,
one series though, but like I mean, I read all of the Immortal Hulk and they're like the green doors and stuff and like what he's presenting here is completely different than everything that was done in that and that's just a gripe. But I do like that he actually mentioned the stuff in that Donny Cates run.
yeah. Here's the thing. Nick Klein is an animal.
Hmm.
Casey already knows what I'm about to show you. This splash page goes so hard.
Yeah.
I kind of liked the deception of like, skeleton Rick Jones and all that stuff and like Betty at the end. Like I
Hmm.
said, touching on the Donny Cates run. I thought this was a pretty strong issue. I know I always like this more than Casey does, but I thought this was one of the better issues, truly. So, uh, And yeah, I mean, Nick Klein took it above and beyond. So I don't know. I mean, it's an easy 9 for me. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, I mean it's the stuff, the visuals are really cool and everything else, but for me, it's same shit, different writer. You know what I'm saying? Like it
Hmm.
would be like if we had a Spider-Man and it's like every fucking new writer is just like, oh man, you wouldn't believe what happened. My uncle died again. It was just the same thing, like every couple of years, the writers are just doing the same thing. It's like, guys, you can do something else. You can like, you don't have to start it back to zero. And so that just really bothers me. It annoys, especially after like I wasn't hot on Donny Cates or Al Ewing's runs, but I read all of them, god damn it. And
Well, dude, I mean, we bring this up every time too. I haven't been reading it
yeah,
every few years, so that it's all new to me.
yeah.
And it being new to me with this level of art, I think it's damn good.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but still, and the it falls less on Philip Kenny Johnson, even though it still has some, falls on him too. But the editorial should do a better job with the Hulk books of keeping track of what happened in the past arcs, and then like making sure that they don't just be like, oh yeah, Hulk and Banner hate each other again, even though the one before this they had an understanding, and then the one after that they hated each other and they had an understanding, and then now they hate each other and they're going to end up having an understanding. So it's
But see, what I gathered from the flashback from the Donnie books, it wasn't much of an understanding. He made it seem like that he was in total control of Hulk and using him.
so that's how it was, and then it ended with them being like, okay, we're kind of good now, and then with this it's like, we're not.
Okay. Well, they didn't say that part.
Yeah, so that's just my gripe. So I'm gonna go like probably an 8, just because it's like, yeah, it's good, but you know, and then like then also all the Hulk mindscape stuff is just like, this is all different than the past Hulk stuff where he's been in his mind, but then at the same time it's like you're also going in the mind of a crazy person, so it's going to be different probably every time. So I mean, that's fine.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was too young to understand, I had a subscription to Hulk, and that's like where the Devil Hulk's. I had like the era where the Devil Hulk kind of like first appeared. I'm pretty sure, and like you had Banner there with the Banner Hulk, and then also the Fix It Hulk, and then he had the Savage Hulk. But then that one was like, I don't want to come out of my cave because I don't like you. And so then they had to make an understanding, and he helped save the day, and then they were cool for a little bit.
Yeah.
Man, it's like they've been doing this forever. But hey, man, that's all our books. What are you excited for in the coming weeks, or in the coming week?
I'm gonna go with Batman Dark Age, Sacrificers, and Zatanna.
Nice. Yeah, you kind of you stole my Zatanna choice. I was gonna say that. I'll say TMNT. Um, this is like such a light week for me. Godzilla Skate or Die and Godzilla versus Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Gee, what a shocker.
Um, honestly, I hope I get to Flash because I'm still behind 2 issues. I need to read those other two, but it's just so hard to give a shit.
But he's still buying it, folks. He's still
Yeah,
buying it.
still supporting Psy.
Yep.
So
And
fantastic.
Jake, more
Yeah.
importantly.
Fantastic Sport Time. I was just thinking in my head, it's a shame some of these creators have died and never got to draw different characters. Just give me 4 characters you'd want to see drawn by artists that never got to draw them, or just never have drawn someone.
Yeah, I definitely didn't think about like recently deceased
Well, it doesn't have to be
people
recent. It could be Jack Kirby,
still.
who's been dead since 42.
I went all people that are still alive. So So Wesley Dodds Sandman by Kenneth Rocafort. We know Kenneth would be going crazy with the gas.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to see that. I'm gonna go with Thor by Terso, who just did All Winter. Uh he drew Vikings and shit really cool. He'd be great on a Thor book. The Shade by Ben Templesmith. I know he technically drew him once for Casey Shade Journal, but not in an official capacity. So I would like to see that. And then I want to go with Magic from the X-Men by Marco Cicchetto. He's a good artist. He draws pretty ladies, and Magic's one of my favorite ladies. So
All right, so I was going to say because Jack Kirby does big, blocky, meaty boys well, and meaty women. They kind of look like, the type of women that would just like if you went off to war, they could run the country while you're away. They have hair on their knuckles. But I think he would do a wonderful strong guy.
wow.
And then I'll say, as I was sitting here, I was like, Darwin Cook. And it's just like, I'm trying to think of someone that he hadn't drawn. And it's probably going to be someone Marvel. So I'm going to say like Daredevil. Darwin
Yeah,
Cook
it's a good
drawing
one.
Daredevil would be pretty sweet. But really, like Darwin Cook drawing anybody, I'm here for it.
The Max.
Ooh, I'm here for it. Then I will say Philip Kennedy Johnson drawing the Fantastic Four. Just the bit whatever Ben Grimm's gonna do, like wrestling move wise, is gonna be dope as hell.
Philip Kennedy Johnson.
Sorry, what's his name? I can't believe
Daniel Warren
Daniel Warren
Johnson.
Johnson, Philip Kennedy Johnson's younger brother.
I was like, I didn't know he was an artist. Oh, he doesn't mean that guy.
My bad. And then Steve Ditko drawing also Daredevil, but Elektra Daredevil. Because I think that would be cool as hell.
Yeah, I agree.
But
Nice.
let us know down below who you'd want, what artists you want to see draw characters they've never drawn before and all that. And,
Yeah.
you know, if you're like, I don't know, if they're still alive, pay them to do it.
All right. Well, that's the end of the episode, folks. Casey, anything else you want them to comment before we sign off?
Um, nah, just leave some comments down below, whatever you want. Doesn't matter.
All right, guys. Well, we'd love to stay in chat, but we have to hum some Hootie and the Blowfish tunes together. So we'll catch you next time. See ya.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for listening to the Two Worlds Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Two Worlds Pod, on Twitter at 2_worlds_PC, and on Facebook at facebook.com/twoworldspodcast. You can email us with any questions or comments at twoworldspodcast@gmail.com, and if you would, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Two Worlds Podcast on YouTube.